Welcome back, people. We got the Samebike L026. This is M9 500 watt version. You could do this with the 350 or the 500 watt. It will still work exactly the same. So full service on this bike. Now I have shown how to wash this bike. It is a little bit dirty because I've taken it on a test. So we've done some off-roading. We've done full throttle. We've done throttle only tests to check the range. All these other videos that we've made, you can check across the channel. We changed from mechanical pull brakes to the hydraulic pull brakes. Best upgrade I've ever done. We changed the tires, showed how to reinforce it, done videos on that. We also used slime for the back wheel. So all of these different videos you can find across the channel. We've done the display settings, understanding every display setting. We've also done the speed hack, showing a separate video of that. Also done the battery hack maintenance as well. So there's many different things that we've done. I probably have missed a few other things out there, like the throttle again. That's another thing. We changed from thumb throttle to the twist throttle. We did that here because I feel like it's a lot better to hold it rather than to keep pushing with my thumb. Just what I prefer. The color wires for the converter are different color wires. We show how to do that. Again, all these videos you can check across. So I'm going to show you today how I service this bike. There is all different ways that you can do this. This is just Bubbles' way. Hence the expression, that's the name of the channel. It's just my way of doing it. This is what I've done to bikes over the years to keep them running in perfectly good order. So to start off with, we have here some WD-40. That's just the name. It's not actually WD-40. It's just the brand. So WD-40 brand bike dry lube. So it's dry chain lube. That's probably what we're going to use very last thing. You're always going to need a pot of this. This is going to be your best friend. We've shown this before on how to fix back squeaky suspension, how to fix front squeaky suspension as well. People had them problems. So this is a multi-purpose grease. I bought this on eBay for around about £8-9, 500 milligrams, massive tub. It's going to last me, I don't know how long time. That is something you're definitely going to need, the grease. And then this here, we have a brake cleaner and parts cleaner. This is what I use as well for the brakes, to clean the brakes up and the discs, because brakes are very important thing. And one other thing that I missed out, hold on one second, you're going to need yourself a set of Allen keys, probably a 5 Allen key actually, for more than anything else. Just, yeah, okay, so I'm going to put those to one side. So to start off with, is what I normally do is I start from the front and I work myself to the back. So we start off with undoing the quick release, like so. Now there's many different ways to do this, as I've mentioned. This is just my way of doing things. Lots of you have asked for this video and you've been waiting patiently. Just remember, sometimes, you know, it's hard for me to push out videos with me live streaming, trying to live stream every day with face cam and mic, and going out on the bike making videos. Sometimes I do have to take a little bit of time off streaming to make these videos, you know. So do bear with me. So a couple of cloths as well. I got 3 cloths. One of the cloths, they're old cloths, as you can see. They're a little bit dirty. It doesn't matter if they're old, it's fine. So that cloth we're going to use to wipe grease, and then this cloth we're going to use to wipe if there's any dirt anywhere. Okay, so I forgot one thing. Oh no. Okay, we'll get that in a moment, it's fine. Alright, so to start off with, I use this first. We take off this part here, we take that off, and then I just wipe that off of any dirt. As you can see there's some dirt. I wipe it off so it's nice and clean. You don't need to wash it, just wipe it with a cloth is fine. Then that little bit that come off, we're going to wipe that as well, just like so. And then to put it back on, you've got like a little groove there, not the flat side. The flat side is the bit that touches the wheel. So the groove bit we put back on. When we put the springs on, the springs the smaller piece goes inwards, the bigger piece is on the outside. We also done a build on this bike. I'm building this bike for the first time, so if you've never built one of these bikes, or you're going to buy one of these bikes and you're wondering how you build it, you could check that video out as well. Make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, otherwise you're going to miss when we do some off-roading. You'll also miss our live streams, and you don't want to miss out on maybe the live streams might not be your sort of thing. We do stream all different games with Facecam and mic, but if that isn't your thing and only bikes are, keep an eye out, make sure that notification is hit. Okay, so there's that spring, just wiping them off roughly, nothing special. So once we've done that, again, the pot of grease is always going to be our best friend, so very, very important to get a pot of grease. You're definitely going to need a pot of grease, that's for sure. If you don't have the money to buy it right now, definitely get some when you do. Okay, so I got a little bit on my finger, and then on this bar here, I'm gonna just put a bit of grease on that, just like that. Don't have to go too crazy with it. Don't bother to put it on the spinning bit where the nut goes, just on everywhere else. And I'm just doing this just so that way the wheel runs that little bit more freely, bit more smoother, and again we've also wiped off the dirt, so it gives us that dirt free. Just wiping my finger there. Okay, and then this spring we want to put on the bigger side on first, and then we're going to get this, we're going to push it back inside. So first stage, very, very simple, very, very easy. On the other side, we're going to put the smaller part touching the wheel first, bigger side on the outer side, and then we're going to put on our nut. Now the one thing is, you do not need to do this for the back wheel, because the back wheel is not quick release, so you don't need to do it for the back wheel. Okay, let's tighten up that. I am going to need to put the camera down in a moment, guys, because I forgot to bring two things that I was going to show you. So the way I do this is straighten up the wheel, so the wheel's straight in line with the bike. I put my hand on the stem at the top, I push down, and then I tighten up this. But before I do that, I'm going to get this a little bit tighter first. Twisting the nut on the other side there. Now when you tighten this up, it doesn't have to be insanely tight, but I like mine quite tight just because I am going off road. So I'm pushing down with my hand on the stem at the top, then pushing that in like that. That's it. That's the first part done. So we also did forget a couple of things, so give me 1 second. I'm just going to cover the camera because I'm about to walk out into my kitchen, which is kind of messy right now, so not really something that you guys want to see. Just grab that, I think. Ooh. Okay, and I also need to grab this. There we go. Alright, sorry about covering the camera, just it's a little bit messy. I'm a man who's by himself. Women know what men are like. We need a woman in our life to keep things clean. That's not me being sexist, that's just me saying that my other half is good at cleaning. There we go. Get me out of trouble. Okay, so I got this bowl here, which I needed another bowl. Oh gosh. Okay, it doesn't matter. We just I'll keep that bowl to one side actually. So I'm doing this in my front room, which is now turning into a bike garage by the looks of things. How much work we've done. Trying to angle the camera a little bit better for you guys. Alright, so now is what we do is I take one of the dry cloths and I just wipe around the disc on the bike, just to take off any excess dirt there real quick, which there isn't really much because I have already had a bit of a clean with it anyway. So for this part I'm going to turn the wheel right the way around, so you can see inside that brake caliper inside there, the brake pads. So this can of spray, we're going to spray in there. We want to spray enough so it drips like that. As you can see, it's dripping. Then once we've done that, the first thing we do is we wipe our rim where it dropped, wipe our tyre also, turn it, and then we're going to spray the disc, and then I'm going to spray it on the other side. This is where I might end up getting a bit messy myself. Hopefully nothing comes onto the hopefully I don't spray too much on the camera lens there. Okay, get our cloth, we wipe the disc now. Okay, so had to put a massive big cut edit slash, yeah, messed up big time. I've done the whole video, but where I ended up wiping the lens with my finger ended up making it very, very blurry, and so now my bike's going to get 2 maintenance jobs. So after finishing cleaning the disc brake with your dry cloth, and obviously we sprayed that, now let me just spray it again. We might as well, it's like a second time, and then inside the disc brake pad. So we use our cloth, wipe around. I can't believe I messed this up. I'm doing it all over again now, second job. Like, I've already done this, but well, these things happen. They do happen. Okay, get your cloth. Remember, this is the dry cloth. Just put it inside my brake pad there. Put it inside and just give it a little wiggle, just like so. Alright, so once we've done that, let's open up the pot of grease again. Let me just get a bit of grease out there. There we go. Take our cotton bud, get some grease, and then I put that on here. It's really early hours in the morning, so it is kind of dark. I hope you guys can see okay. So I'm putting some on the brake cable there, and once I've done that, I then pull the front brake cable a few times, so it puts some grease up into that cable at the bottom there. You can also do it on the top, but I only bother with doing it on the bottom. If you need to adjust your brakes, you can. So I'll keep on squeezing. Normally my brakes are fine, I don't need to adjust them, but if you do need to adjust them, you can either undo this bit, make this bit, unscrew it so it makes the brake a bit tighter. You can also do that on the top, on the handlebar up there as well, but for me, I don't need to adjust them in any sort of way, so I'm just going to wipe the excess grease off on that bit of a cable there, just like that. And then once I've done that, with the suspension, we're going to get some more grease. We're going to put it on top of this sill and around here on the fork. Not too much, just a little bit of grease going around there. You can put as much grease as you want, it doesn't matter too much, but I'm not going to put too much because I've already done this, so I'm redoing this again because I messed up. So you want to do that, and then do that again, exactly the same thing on the other side. I'm going to show you again one more time on this side, and then you repeat the process on the other side. So just rubbing around the top of the sill. Once you've done that and you rub around on the top of the sill, push your hand, hold your front brake, push your handlebars, put force on it, so you're pushing that grease down into the suspension fork there. Push quite hard, and once you've done that on both sides, you'll see a bit of grease there, and then you just wipe the silver bit on the other side, what you've done, and then obviously on this side as well. It's insanely hot. Oh gosh, I gotta stop doing these things on these hot days, but you guys keep on asking for it, so I gotta get it done. Okay, so once we've done that, we then put our finger inside the cloth, hold on, just like so, and then just run around the top of that sill, just so it cleans it off, any excess grease. Grease is definitely your best friend for this. 110% grease is the way to go. So if you don't have any, I recommend buying some as quick as I can. Now for your cables, if they're going to wear anywhere, would probably be here on top of the forks, obviously where you keep turning. I've already checked mine look fine, but if yours are cracked or split in any sort of way, use some installation tape, wire tape for now, which will keep it waterproof and keep it going. If it is split or cracked, then definitely change it. Don't bother leaving it like that. Definitely change it 110%. So coming to the back now, with the back we do the same process as what we've just done. So we get a bit of grease. Cotton buds are always a good thing to use here. Bit of grease, rub it here on this cable, just near the top bit. Again, I'm not doing this too much. Normally I do put quite a bit on there. Now I'll show you how much I would normally put on. I don't normally do it I don't need to do it this much now, because I have already done this once. As I said, I messed up the camera view and it made all the camera picture quality dirty and messed up. Yeah, anyway, so there's my grease. Squeeze your back brake a good few times. After you squeeze your back brake a good few times, you can then get the cloth and wipe off the excess grease again. Okay, so let's wipe it off. I can't believe, I literally cannot believe I messed this up. So once we've done that, we'll move that to one side for a minute, because we don't need that just yet. Spray inside where our brake pads are, and then spray the disc. Get our dry cloth, just wipe it off. This is going to stop your brakes from squeaking, and it's going to keep your disc brake nice and clean at the same time. So this is like a win-win situation. Get your cloth, push it inside, give it a wiggle like we did on the front. Now with your Allen keys, use a 5mm Allen key and go over the whole entire bike and make sure every bolt is tight. Don't over tighten it, just make sure it's tight. Do that, I definitely recommend that. That's a good thing to do, especially if you're going off road quite a lot like I do. And then it is definitely recommended. Some more grease with our cotton bud on here. We put a line there and a line on the other side, just trying to angle the camera right so you can see that. And then this side bit, the other side bit, and then underneath as well. As you can see, even though I've already done it, there's a bit of dirt there. There is, turn it over, use the clean side of the cotton bud. Okay, there we go, a little bit more dirt. So we put that cotton bud to one side, get our dry cloth again, and just wipe off any excess, so there's no excess on there. That's it, simple as that. And then we take a new cotton bud, because that one is now no good anymore. Get some more grease on our cotton bud, as you can see. And then in this part here moves in your suspension, so a bit of grease down in there. Be careful not to get it on your actual disc brake there. Do it both on the outside, both sides. As you can see, a little bit of dirt. Do it again on the cleaner side, just so it removes any more excess dirt that is there. So if you've got any comments below, you can put comments below if you have any problems at all with electric bikes. I will try my best to help you guys out, and I'll try and get back to you as fast as I possibly can. Normally I am keeping an eye on comments quite a lot anyway, because we're family friendly when we're live streaming games with the face cam and the mic. I like to make sure everything's kept as family friendly, so I don't accept any bad comments. If you leave anything silly like that, it will be removed. So as I said, I do always read comments, so you keep an eye out for it. And yeah, I can keep an eye out for it, and if there is anything at all that you need help with, I could probably help you. Okay, just going to turn the bike around now, because now we need to get to the other side. Again, I'm not adjusting my back brake, because I don't need to, but if I did want to, I can twist this part here that my finger's tapping. I could twist that outwards that way, and that'll make the brake sharper. I could also do the back, same on the back there. I could untwist that and make it sharper. Now I'm not doing it because my brakes are fine. If you don't know how to install brakes or make your brakes perfect, we did a separate video on that, on how to install hydraulic brakes from mechanical pull brakes. You could always check that video out. Okay, back to more grease. It's too hot. Too hot. Okay, so we got our grease. I'm going to do the same on this part here now. Both sides. And then this side bit, the other side. And then putting it from the bottom upwards. And as you can see, there's a bit of dirt there. Swap it round to the clean one, then wipe over in the same spots again. And once we've done that, throw that cotton bud to one side, take our dry cloth again, just wipe over, taking any excess off that is on there. We now get a new cotton bud. More grease. A lot of this involves grease, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed that by now. And then down here we'll put a bit of grease on this, which is our gear shifter. This is for our crank gear shifter. And once we've done that, we come up here, we take down the gear all the way to the bottom, push it back up to the top, back down to the bottom, back up to the top. That's it. Quite straightforward, quite simple. And then for our bottom gear, we do, it's in the last gear at the minute, so I'm going to put some grease on the little silver bit here. Hopefully you can see this because it looks kind of dark in the camera. Let me see, hold on, make sure that you can see. My shadow's in the way. Okay, so a bit of grease on this silver piece here, this cable. Then once we've done that, we then lift the bike up and click it up all the way into first gear. Like that. We wipe that bit off last. We leave that for now. For now we are good. Just adjusting the camera a little bit. And then we now take our dry cloth, and then we pedal it backwards like this, slowly. And whilst we do that, we put this dry cloth down here and keep grabbing that bottom cog, so we take off any grease. Not really going to be any grease because I've already done this. I messed it up. Be careful because your cloth can get stuck in there. And then do the same for the top cog. Again, it's a little bit hard to see, but down in there where my finger's touching, there's another cog. So just grab it and pedal backwards. There we go. So there's that. We've still got a bit more grease on our cotton bud, so we put that here on our gear cable there and here as well. So that way when we change down into a lower gear, that cable is going to be moved. We'll take it down to the bottom gear and then up to the top gear. And then we get our mum and dad's toothbrush. You don't, you just get any toothbrush. Do not use your mum or dad's toothbrush, they will not be happy. Now mine was quite dirty when I first did this, but again I've already done this, so this is like a second time of me doing it. Some plain water, put your toothbrush in, shake off any excess. Put your toothbrush on your chain, pedal backwards, and then once you've done that, look, there's always going to be dirt on the chain. Rinse it off, make sure it's dry, and then pull it to one side. So you're doing the side of the chain now. Okay, we dropped out into bottom gear. Let me take that back up. Don't push too hard because otherwise your take it out of gear just like I did. Push it lightly and it still goes down a gear. Okay. Alright, we've done that. Back in the water, back on top of the chain again, back in the water. Now the side of the chain. Sorry, the camera was off. The side of the chain. Rinse it off with water. Look at that, I already cleaned this chain and yet there's still dirt coming off it. And then now we need to do this part here, the bottom of the chain. So we get our toothbrush and put it down on the chain, pedal backwards. You can do this quite a few times because your chain is going to be probably the most dirtiest thing on the bike. Do throw your toothbrush away after. Okay. Alright, so now we've done that. As you can see, the toothbrush is disgusting, really dirty. So we don't no longer need that anymore. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of the water. And now our dry cloth. This is going to be the last point where we use that dry cloth. So we save this part till last. So you get your cloth, fold it, put it around the chain, and then you hold it, but don't squeeze it, just hold it so there's enough pressure there. Like if you hold it too tight, you see that there's too much slack in the chain. You don't want it like that. Just hold it just ever so slightly, otherwise the chain is not gonna go round properly. So holding the chain lightly, running the chain through the cloth like so. Look at that. And again, I already cleaned this, but I did also lube it after, so that's why I've got that dirt there again. Keep moving the cloth around as well, so that way you don't stick into that one dirty spot all the time. Well, there we go. So if you are interested in gaming, you can look across the channel. We do live streams daily. You could check out those. Wow. Yeah, we do gaming. We do random unboxing videos. We do lots of different things across the channel. So you can always check some of that other stuff out. We've done a build on this bike as well. We actually built it. There's loads of things. There's so many things that we've done on this bike. It's unreal. When you get to the point where you do so many different things, you actually forget what you've done because there's just so much. Okay, so now that is done, I'm going to try and take a little bit of a clean bit of the cloth and just wipe across there, just so that way we don't leave any bits of dirt on there, as you can see a little bit. Now we've done that, we take our chain loop, which is just here, give it a good shake up, and then the way I do it is 3 drops. So I put 3 drops when it's in first gear, drop it down to 4th gear, 3 drops last gear, another few more drops. Okay, so it's in top gear, we pedal it backwards, and as we pedal it backwards we drop a couple of drops, couple of drops, couple of drops. Pedal it backwards a few times. And once we've done that, we drop down the gears like that. Lift the bike up a little bit so we can go down the gears. There we go. So I'm in 3rd. I want to be in 4th gear. There we go. That's 4th gear. Now we're in 4th gear. We put another drop there. Put it backwards. Another drop there. Put it backwards. Another drop. Backwards again. I now put some lube on the 7th cog. Tiny drops, always drops. Drop it down, change it down into 7th gear, lift the bike up, pedal forwards, so we're in the last gear. And then now we put a couple of drops on the chain again. drops on the chain again, drops on the chain again, and now that is 110% smooth, probably even smoother than what it was before, because that's the second time I've done it. But check this out, ready? That's really smooth. Perfect. That's how you want your chain to be. Looks nice, looks all clean, doesn't look like there's any dirt in there, but if there is, before doing the chain, you could always use your toothbrush and clean in between the cogs if you've got any dirt in there. Again, I don't need to do that because I've already done that, but if you need to, that is a thing you can do. So now I put a drop on the top gear in the middle, and then one from the bottom. That's it. Now we need no more lube. That's done. And then now you see here the cable's now moved. So now the cable's moved, we get some more grease quick. Put some grease in the top bit there, some grease in the bottom bit there, and then we go up to first gear, which is going to move that lube around, and at the same time that grease is now going to be pushed up into the cable. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, that grease is now moved up, and that grease is now moved up. So we take our cloth, try and get a clean bit, just wipe off the excess grease there and just down there. So all different videos, as well as cleaning the bike, we've done all that sort of thing. Bit of dirt there. We've done a bit of cleaning on the bike, changed tyres, inner tubes. There's so many things that we've done, but this is a full service. So we've now done the front suspension, we've done that. I always read back to everything that I've done, so that way I make sure that I haven't actually missed anything. That's the way I do it. So front suspension we've done, brakes we've done on the front and the back, we've done the chain, back suspension, we've done the cogs, we've done the gear, we've done this gear, but we didn't change that gear, it's in high gear. So let me drop that down to the bottom gear. That's why I always read back to myself what I've done, so that way I don't miss anything. There we go, pedal around a couple of times and stop. And then we take our cloth, try and find a clean bit, and we wipe off the excess grease that we put down here. There we go. Alright, so there we go. Second time I'm doing it because I messed it up the first time. Well done, Bubbles. So if you've got any comments or any questions, anything that you want to ask, whether you've got a problem with your electric bike, I could try and help you, or whether you think there's something that I missed out, you can always ask for that. Actually, another thing you could always do is here as well as down here, we can put a bit of grease up in here, like that. So we can then take the gear up, put the gear up a bit more. There we go. Give it a little bit of helping hand. Take another click up. There we go. Drop that down into the lowest gear. And then we get our cloth and we just wipe off any excess grease there. Alright, so yeah, I'm really sorry that I messed it up. You guys didn't really see the mess up, so luckily for you, you don't have to re-watch it. And you just couldn't see where I wiped the camera lens. It was just so blurry, it messed it up big time. I think that is it. So we'll do another recap. We've done the front brakes, we've done the spindle, we did the 2 brake levers by putting in grease in the calipers on the cables. You don't have to do that, it doesn't really do too much, but it just helps it to be that little bit smoother when you pull the brakes, and I like my brakes to be really smooth. We've done the gears, we cleaned that bottom cog, top cog. Again, if these are dirty, clean them first. So before doing any of this full service, make sure that you wash your bike first. We did a separate video of washing it. Check that video out if you haven't seen it. Do that first, and then after you're ready to then do this full service. Again, with the brakes, you can always make adjustment with the brakes. I don't need to do that, so I'm not going to do that. My brakes are absolutely perfect. Get our cloth. Now there's nothing left to do we wipe the grease off here on that bit of cable, because now that gear's been pulled, that cable's been pulled tight up into this cable here. So we've got a little bit of grease in there, we've got a bit of grease in here and in here for the back 7 gears. Then we got some grease down in here and up in here, which was for these top gears here. We've greased the suspension. That is literally all that I do, to be honest. I don't do anything else. That's the main things that I do to keep the bike running perfect. And as I say, when I'm riding this, I only like to hear the sound of the motor, because that sound of the motor, I don't know, there's just something about it that it just sounds so great to hear it whilst riding this bike. I don't like to hear any creaking sounds or any scratching sounds or rubbing sounds from the discs or anything like that from the brakes. Again, them videos we've done across the channel, you could always check them out if you need any help, or you could always leave it in a comment below and I could always advise what I know best. I've done a lot of work on a lot of different electric bikes and tons of work on electric scooters as well to maintain them the best way I can. Battery hacks we've done on this bike, speed hack, all showing all the settings, and everything that we've done is all on the channel, so you can always check it out. Hope that this did help you out in some sort of way to keep your bike running smooth. These are the main things that I do to keep my bike running, and it runs very, very well by doing what I've just shown you guys. Lots of you have been asking for it. So grease, as I showed before, multi-purpose grease. This is going to be your best friend. It definitely is. Every bike needs grease. And then chain lube, I always use the dry chain lube. There's lots of different chain lube you can get. That says WD-40, as I mentioned. It's not proper real WD-40. It's just the brand that I use. That's it. I don't specifically use just this brand. I use pretty much any brand as long as it's a dry lube, dry chain lube. I like it to be a dry chain lube because it says reduce wear and keeps chain running smoother in dry and dusty conditions. Now, the reason why I use that is because I do obviously go off road, lots of dust, and even being on road, obviously cars overtaking you and stuff, that can be quite dusty as well. That's it for this Samebike L026. Any questions at all, do leave it in comments below. I'm trying to run my brain, but there's just literally, there is nothing else that I do to keep this bike running perfect. There's literally nothing. I think I might have forgotten one thing actually. I think I might have done. I actually don't even know, because I'm making so many cuts and edits. I messed up again, so I'm gonna get a bit more grease and just put it on this part here, just in case. I think that's the only thing I might have missed. Bit of grease around there. And once you've done that, turn over to the dry cotton bud, take off the excess and any dirt that's there. And look at that, I've already done it, and yet there's still a little bit of dirt. There'll always be a little bit of dirt hiding away somewhere. Cotton buds really are helpful in this situation. Just wiping off any excess grease around any dirt as well. Okay, drop a like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss when we do the live streams with the face cam and mic. And also, we got the throttle only distance range test coming very, very soon. Got to edit everything. And then we're also going to be doing a range test on just pedaling. Again, I haven't actually made that video yet because I'm so busy with the live streams, I haven't had a chance to get out. But that will be coming at some point, and plenty more other videos of off-road and other things for this bike. Hope this one helped you out. Drop a like. We'll catch you people again soon for some more fun and games. I'm out. So that's why I was sitting there. I was sitting there thinking I'm definitely forgetting something. The one last thing is always tyre pressure. Now when I'm going off-road, I put the front as 55 psi and the back as 55 psi. If you're going on road, you can put them as 60 psi in the back and 60 psi in the front. That's obviously going to reduce drag and that kind of thing. You get that extra little bit more speed. You can either buy a pump with a gauge, or you can get a gauge and push it on and then quickly take it off, and then it will show you as digital on a little screen how much psi you've got in your tyres. I use psi, some people use bar, everybody uses different. I always use psi, but anyway, psi 55 in the front and back, going off-road, on-road 60 psi. If you don't have a psi gauge, you can buy them on Amazon or eBay, or you can buy a pump that actually says the gauge in the pump, which that's how I've got mine. If not, you can do it the old-fashioned way and push your tyre in and see how much it goes in. That's another way to do it. That's the old style way, but I like to know exactly how much air I've got in mine, so that's the way I do it. This time I really am out. We catch you people again soon for some more fun and games. Drop a like, subscribe, notifications. I'm out.